Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter. First responders were dispatched to reports of a vehicle on fire in Austell, Georgia. As firefighters worked to extinguish the flames, first responders began examining the area. Not far from the burning vehicle, they found the body of a young woman in a wooded area. What began as a response to a vehicle fire had become a homicide investigation. This is the story of Beauty Couch. Beauty Couch had built a community online. Through videos of roller skating, dancing, fashion, and everyday moments, she connected with more than 150,000 followers. To her family, she was simply Beauty, a daughter, a friend. Her mother, Kimberly Couch, later remembered a young woman who loved roller skating, fashion, fixing her hair, and going to work. She said Beauty was a friend to everybody. At 22, she was building a future. Then in August of 2023, everything changed. On August 22nd, 2023, Beauty's family realized something wasn't right. They were unable to reach her. As the hours passed, concern continued to build. The following day, authorities responded to a vehicle fire in Austell, Georgia. Nearby, in a wooded area, Beauty was found deceased. For her family, the search was over. The search for answers was only beginning. The focus now turned to finding the person responsible. One of the first major breaks in the case would come from something left behind. While examining the area, investigators recovered an item that did not belong to Beauty. It was a traffic citation. That single piece of paper gave investigators a name. The discovery changed the direction of the case. The name would lead investigators beyond Georgia. The name on the citation gave the case its first major lead. It belonged to someone close to Beauty. Someone investigators believed had been with her shortly before her death. It was her boyfriend, Eugene Toby Louis Jacques. His vehicle was traced to Louisiana. 2 days after Beauty was found deceased, authorities located and arrested him. The state later said he identified himself using a false name. Officers also recovered paperwork bearing the same alias from his vehicle. He was taken into custody and later extradited back to Georgia. As more evidence was reviewed, the state would later allege that Beauty had been fatally stabbed before her vehicle was set on fire. Prosecutors also maintained that her body had been left in the wooded area nearby. A Cobb County grand jury later returned an indictment against Eugene Toby Louis Jacques. He later pleaded not guilty. The case was now headed to trial. Nearly 3 years after Beauty's death, the case finally reached a courtroom. During opening statements, jurors heard the state's theory of what happened. Prosecutors argued that Beauty had been stabbed 81 times. They also argued her vehicle was set on fire afterward. Over the course of the trial, jurors heard from law enforcement, forensic specialists, and other witnesses who testified about evidence that prosecutors said connected Jacques to the killing. The defense, meanwhile, argued the state's case was largely circumstantial. Attorneys maintained there was no DNA placing Jacques at the exact location where Beauty was found. Ultimately, it was up to the jury. After hearing days of testimony, the jury returned its verdict. Eugene Toby Louis Jacques was found guilty on all counts, including malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, second-degree arson, concealing the death of another, and tampering with evidence. At sentencing, Jacques was ordered to serve life in prison without the possibility of parole. He also received an additional 20 years. Beauty's life ended far too soon, but she continues to be remembered. Our thoughts are with Beauty Couch's family, friends, and everyone who is touched by her. May we continue sharing Beauty's story. For more cases and updates, follow Hunting for Answers. You can also connect with us through our Facebook group and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, if there's a story you believe deserves attention, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.